For years, the Belgian national team carried the weight of the world. That golden generation overflowed with superstars who consistently kept the Red Devils right at the top of the FIFA rankings. But they never lifted that major trophy everyone demanded. That heavy expectation haunted the squad for the better part of 10 years. Now, the vibe is entirely different. Belgium is walking into a fresh era. Doku and Meunier arriving. The Red Devils turn it around. 2-0. Beautiful football. Tielemans leaves it for Kevin De Bruyne. There is the goal they wanted this first half. Lukaku continues his run back for Fofana. Beautifully worked. After a totally chaotic and disappointing Euro 2024 campaign, manager Domenico Tedesco stepped away, and Rudi Garcia took over in January 2025. He immediately focused on fixing the broken locker room culture, while handing the keys over to a thrilling new wave of young football talent. Today's squad is caught right between two eras. You have the aging legends who defined Belgian football for the past decade, like Kevin De Bruyne enjoying his last dance, while a fresh crop of highly technical kids are taking the reins. Players like Jérémy Doku hitting it perfectly, 3-0. The fascinating thing about this new crop? They play without all that heavy emotional baggage dragging them down. The old guard was expected to win the trophy before the tournament even kicked off. This young squad is unpredictable. They play free, loaded with raw, untapped potential. A bunch of these kids are shattering records and tearing up Europe's biggest football leagues, sparking real hope that the Red Devils are building something massive again. Honestly, Belgian football changed forever at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Taking third place was their biggest modern achievement. It really felt like the absolute peak for that famous golden generation led by Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, and Romelu Lukaku. But right after that summer, the momentum died. They bombed out in the 2022 World Cup group stage, and Euro 2024 ended with a brutal round of 16 exit. Fans started realizing the golden generation stuck around way too long. The squad desperately needed new blood and fresh legs. Honestly, a lot of these guys were just carried by the sheer magic of prime Eden Hazard. As results dropped off, the backstage drama became painfully obvious. Serious tension built up inside the camp. Public fights between Thibaut Courtois and the coaching staff dragged a heavy, dark cloud over the entire national team. The players looked totally drained. On the pitch, they were stale, predictable, and trapped in a generational gap. That is exactly why hiring Rudi Garcia mattered so much. Garcia is a veteran manager with a proven track record of elevating young talent. Look, he is literally the guy who molded a teenage Eden Hazard back during his Lille days. His main goal with Belgium? Injecting fresh life into the locker room while totally modernizing their tactical setup. Under Garcia, Belgium faced a really tough 2026 World Cup qualifying run. Still, they never dropped a single game, dominating Group J. The attack looked ruthless again, hammering in 29 goals across just 8 matches. The past couple of years perfectly highlight this massive transition. Euro 2024 kicked off with a horrible 1-0 loss to Slovakia, but they bounced back hard against Romania. Ultimately, the run ended in tears against France in the round of 16, but by the 2025 qualifiers, the roster felt completely reborn. Kids like Maxime de Kuiper, Jérémy Doku, and Malik Fofana suddenly became the engine driving the team. And like I said before, this roster perfectly blends two distinct eras. The old guard Courtois, De Bruyne, and Lukaku still bring that crucial leadership and calm when the pressure hits. It is just that now, they are surrounded by hungry youngsters injecting pure speed and attacking creativity. Doku starring at Manchester City and Mika Godts' massive Ajax breakout changed everything up front. They are faster, aggressively direct, and an absolute nightmare to defend on the counter. The veterans exist to steer the kids through the chaos. So, let us talk about the older guys. Kevin De Bruyne is still the absolute mastermind of this setup. Even deep into his 30s, he is hands down one of the greatest playmakers on the planet. Throughout the 2026 qualifiers, he actually topped the scoring charts for Belgium with 6 goals. He operates in this completely free role, roaming the grass and dictating the entire tempo. Sure, he battled some injuries during his time at Napoli, but whenever he is healthy, he is still unmatched out there, constantly feeding the forwards and slicing through deep blocks with his vision. And when I talk to Belgian fans, they tell me De Bruyne's locker room leadership matters just as much as his passing now. He is the bridge. He connects these fiery new academy kids directly to the established legends who built the squad's modern reputation. Romelu Lukaku might be the most heavily debated player in Belgian history, but his value to this squad is undeniable. He is such a fascinating striker. Sometimes he suffers these brutal misses, yet he boasts more international goals than absolute icons like Diego Maradona. I still wonder if Lukaku is the totally clinical finisher this team needs to make a deep World Cup run. But bagging a couple of goals does absolute wonders for his confidence. As the greatest scorer in national team history, his brute strength anchors the entire front line. His hold-up play is unreal because he is built like a tank. That physical style is exactly what Rudi Garcia demands from his target man. Sure, critics still doubt his finishing in knockout games, but let's be real. Belgium simply does not have another striker capable of bullying center backs quite like he does. Opponents literally have to double-team Lukaku, which naturally rips open massive pockets of space for the Belgian wingers to exploit. Getting Thibaut Courtois back in goal might just be the single biggest upgrade for this entire squad. Exiled during the Tedesco months, the Real Madrid star is finally back. His massive presence instantly restored a sense of total calm and confidence to the Belgian defense. Belgium's defense has looked pretty shaky lately, but having Courtois in goal changes everything. He brings an entirely different level of security. His shot stopping is still absolutely world class. I mean, you can make a real case that Courtois is the greatest football goalkeeper ever. Just look at how many times he rescued Real Madrid over the years. But even if he gets injured, Tielemans is stepping up as a really solid backup keeper. He is practically a baby Courtois. Then you have the explosive wingers and creative playmakers up front. Honestly, that is the exact part of the squad Belgian fans are buzzing about right now. Jérémy Doku has morphed into one of the deadliest wingers in the entire Premier League. Early in his career, fans wrote Doku off as just a flashy dribbler. Fun to watch, sure, but zero end product when it mattered. Well, that narrative is completely dead now. Under Pep at Manchester City, he plays much smarter and more ruthlessly with the ball. Now he beats his defender and actually scores outrageous goals. His decision-making took a massive leap. He hits the touchline and actually picks out his teammates for easy assists. No more aimless stepovers, no more dribbling straight into a wall of defenders. His goal and assist numbers are shooting up. Instead of just showing off fancy footwork, he cooks his defender and actually delivers a lethal final ball. Doku averages around 3 successful take-ons per game from over 6 attempts. Nobody else in European football is touching those numbers right now. The scariest part? He keeps total control of the ball while sprinting at absolute top speed. He is basically unplayable in one-on-one situations. Even double teams fail. Just ask Liverpool fans. Doku charges right at Konate, gets into the box, and finds an angle to shoot. He scores! Jérémy Doku. And late in the game, when tired defenders leave gaps open, Doku gets even deadlier. Then we have Mika Godts. Honestly, this is the guy Belgian supporters are losing their minds over right now. The 20-year-old Ajax winger caught fire during the 2025 to 2026 Eredivisie season. He smashed in 16 goals and grabbed 11 assists in 29 games. He also ranked near the very top of the league for successful take-ons and chances created. Proving his attacking game is the real deal. Fans back in Belgium call him an elegant playmaker, mostly because he glides on the ball, completely calm, totally effortless. His deadliest weapon? Chopping inside onto his right foot and bending the ball far post. It is his absolute trademark. Cut inside, curl it right in. Midfield is where this Belgium squad finally found balance, pairing Amadou Onana with Youri Tielemans. And yes, Amadou Onana, not Andre. He is the undisputed defensive rock of this team. Down at Aston Villa, he turned into an absolute physical monster in the Premier League. The guy is huge. He covers crazy distance, dominates the air, and hunts down the ball with terrifying intensity. His defensive stats are wild. He ranks near the top for tackles, ground duels, and one-headers. In the Premier League alone, he racked up over 100 tackles and countless physical battles with an insane win rate. Above all, he brings actual stability to Belgium. Since Onana handles all the dirty work, guys like Kevin De Bruyne and Doku can cheat up the pitch, hunting for goals without constantly sprinting back. Then there is Youri Tielemans, bringing total calmness right next to Onana. People used to troll him online, joking about his body type and calling him slow and heavy. But after that viral point-of-view video from a Premier League match dropped, the haters went silent. Fans finally realized that even the guys who look sluggish on television are processing elite-level football faster than we can even imagine. So while Onana sweeps up the mess, Tielemans controls the entire tempo with killer passing and smart positioning. That Aston Villa club chemistry with Onana just blends perfectly straight into the Belgian national squad. It gives Belgium a midfield duo that can literally read each other's minds. Tielemans is also a massive attacking threat because the man can launch rockets from outside the box. What a screaming hit from Youri Tielemans, plus his deadly accuracy on set-piece deliveries is an absolute game-changer. This adds a fresh layer to Belgium's offense, making them an absolute nightmare to defend. Especially in tense World Cup or Euro knockouts, where one lucky bounce from a corner can flip the entire match on its head. Picture Tielemans whipping in a perfect corner and Onana just dunking on the entire defense. Belgium also promoted this hungry group of underrated young talent. It has totally revived the dull vibe surrounding the entire national squad. Maxim de Kuiper is rapidly turning into Belgium's most hyped defensive prospect, mainly because the squad spent years desperately looking for a reliable fullback. After joining Brighton in 2025 for €20 million, he adapted to English football with zero issues. During the 2025 to 2026 campaign, he grabbed 5 goals and 5 assists. Supporters absolutely love his pinpoint crossing and total ice-cold composure under pressure, plus his dangerous set-piece deliveries. Zeno de Bast is looking like the absolute future boss of this Belgian backline. Just look at the rockets he scored over at Sporting. Through ball perfectly placed, what an unbelievable strike. A brilliant finish from Zeno de Bast. In Portugal, he morphed into a modern, ball-playing center half. He is critical when they have possession. Rudi Garcia demands his defenders build out from the back with confidence. De Bast slots into that system like he was born for it. Now, I still see fans online sweating over his ability to survive those brutal, highly physical aerial dogfights. But with the ball at his feet, his technical skills are light years ahead of his age. He constantly drives the attack forward using razor-sharp passing. And naturally, he stays ice-cold under heavy pressure. He drops creative sparks from deep midfield, racking up assists and handing the Belgian squad a dangerous new weapon during their build-up. Romeo Lavia remains the ultimate wildcard for this roster. Nasty injuries have brutally stalled the young midfielder's growth recently. But when he actually stays fit, which is rare, fans instantly remember why scouts hype him up. Belgian supporters view him as the midfield anchor their national team has been desperately missing. His absolute biggest strength is pure composure when receiving the ball under heavy fire. Even when facing elite Premier League clubs in tough matchups, he looks completely relaxed, taking touches in tight pockets, slipping away from defenders and keeping possession ticking. The real question is simple. Can the poor kid even survive 2 matches in a row? If he pulls it off, Belgium's entire midfield balance shifts. It frees up guys like Tielemans to push higher up the pitch and attack without fear. Malik Fofana is another attacking threat to watch. He built a massive 2025-2026 campaign, proving he can handle multiple forward roles, whether out wide or tucked centrally right behind the striker. Unlike Doku, who leans heavily on pure explosive dribbling and direct sprints, Fofana plays with smoother control, drifting into spaces between the lines. Pace is still his major weapon, but his real value shines through smart runs that link up attacks inside the danger zone. The glaring red flag for this Belgian squad is defense. For years, they leaned heavily on veterans like Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen to anchor the backline with leadership. But that era is completely over. Alderweireld walked away from international football, and Vertonghen is scraping the absolute end of his playing days. Many Belgian fans honestly feel that massive veteran experience was simply never replaced. This dumps crushing pressure onto guys like Zeno de Bast and Wout Faes, or as I prefer to call him, the Belgian Sideshow Bob. To truly grasp why the World Cup means absolutely everything to Belgium, you need to dig into their crazy history at this tournament. Belgium has played in 14 World Cups, but 2 magical runs tower over the rest: 1986 and 2018. Those were the rare moments when Belgium transformed into the most thrilling football nation on earth. The 1986 World Cup in Mexico remains their original legendary underdog story. Long before the golden generation arrived, this squad made an entire country believe they could actually fight the global giants. Managed by the legendary Guy Thighs, Belgium flew in with zero expectations. The group stage was a brutal grind, barely scraping through as a third-place team after falling to Mexico and edging past Iraq. But once the knockout bracket kicked off, everything flipped. Their round of 16 clash with the Soviet Union became legendary, ending 4-3 after a wild extra time. Soviet star Igor Balanov smashed in a hat trick, yet the Belgians somehow survived the onslaught. That chaotic match introduced the globe to a young Enzo Saifo, who absolutely dictated the tempo with pure creative genius. At just 20 years old, he played fearlessly under the brightest lights, taking home the Best Young Player award. During the quarterfinals against Spain, goalkeeper Jean-Marie Pfaff cemented himself as a national hero with massive clutch saves in the penalty shootout. That fairy tale run finally died in the semifinals against Diego Maradona and Argentina. Still, finishing fourth was the absolute peak of Belgian football history back then, a record that stood untouched for over 30 years. For decades after, Belgium produced solid squads and brilliant individual stars. But they always hit a brick wall at the round of 16 or quarterfinals. Enzo Saifo kept driving the team through the 1990s, while stars like Michel Prudhomme and Marc Wilmots dragged the nation into later tournaments. Yet Belgium never looked like a serious threat to lift the World Cup trophy again, not until the famous Golden Generation arrived. Which brings us to Russia 2018, the tournament that permanently defined modern Belgian soccer. Managed by Roberto Martinez, Belgium boasted the deadliest attack on earth. The entire roster was completely stacked with global icons across the pitch: Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, and Thibaut Courtois. Even the defensive line was a fortress with Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld. This was the summer where all the puzzle pieces finally clicked together. Their round of 16 clash against Japan instantly became one of the most unforgettable games in World Cup history. Belgium shockingly fell behind 2-0 with barely 20 minutes left, staring down another painful collapse. Martinez panicked and threw the kitchen sink at them. He subbed on big Marouane Fellaini and Nasser Chadli, totally flipping the momentum of the tie. Belgium fired back instantly. Jan Vertonghen scored an impossible looping header. Loops it in. Oh, what a header. A tremendous finish from Vertonghen. Soon after, Fellaini powered home the equalizer. Found room for the cross to Fellaini. A fabulous comeback from the Belgians, and suddenly the match was level. Then, in the 94th minute, Belgium triggered a totally flawless counterattack, sprinting from one end of the pitch to the other in seconds. Courtois rolled it out. De Bruyne charged straight through the midfield. Lukaku pulled off a genius dummy, leaving the ball for Chadli to smash home the ultimate comeback victory. Lukaku leaves it here as the winner. Oh, can you believe it? Next up was Brazil in the quarterfinals. A showdown that Belgian fans still view as the absolute greatest performance in their history. Roberto Martinez pulled a massive tactical flex, shifting KDB into a false nine. He pushed Lukaku right to exploit Brazil's transition defense and completely dominated. The plan worked. Belgium scored twice, including a thunderous strike from De Bruyne after one of Lukaku's trademark driving runs through the midfield. De Bruyne, 2-0 Belgium. What on earth is happening? Brazil threw everything forward late on, but Courtois delivered a defining tournament moment, spectacularly tipping Neymar's shot over the bar in the dying seconds. Belgium won 2-1. They finally landed that massive statement victory fans had spent years begging to witness. Roberto Martinez told everyone this was the exact match his players were born for, and they proved him right. They truly did, and everyone saw it. Just unbelievable heart from every player out there. That dream eventually died in a heartbreaking semi-final defeat against their fierce rivals, France. But Belgium still took third by beating England in the playoff. That bronze medal remains the pinnacle of Belgian football history, turning the 2018 squad into absolute legends. Look, today's Belgian roster lacks the pure star power of that golden generation, but honestly, that might actually work in their favor. For the first time in over a decade, they aren't carrying the heavy burden of being mandatory title favorites. Back in the golden era, every single World Cup and European Championship brought suffocating expectations. Fans and pundits crowned them champions before kickoff, and that intense hype slowly broke the squad. Today, the entire vibe around this national team feels entirely different. The squad operates with way less outside noise now. Flying under the radar like this might just become their absolute greatest weapon. But Belgium isn't the only nation looking to shock the globe. To get fully prepped for the 2026 World Cup, you need to check out this complete guide right here.